Our presentation is on the importance of the ocean and the effects of ocean pollution. Almost 75% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, most notably rivers, lakes, and oceans. The ocean is a massive driving force in maintaining the natural environment of the Earth, as well as sustaining the world's economies and infrastructure. However, the ocean today is being polluted by human activity, and this has critical effects which impact countless people and species.
This impact can be felt because 1/4 of the world's oxygen comes from the ocean. 40% of the world's population lives within 100 kilometers of the ocean. This includes 3.1 billion people who count on it for their livelihoods as part of their primary source of food. This shows that plastic in the ocean affects much more than just the biodiversity of marine life. As seen here, 320 million tons of plastic are consumed globally every year. Based on research from ourworldindata.org, we can estimate that roughly 10 tons of this plastic ends up in our oceans. This is roughly 3% of the total plastic consumed. These plastics degrade over time due to sun and weathering from their marine environment. This causes them to become smaller and smaller in size. The fragmented pieces of plastic can be described as microplastics, which are less than 5 millimeters in size, or nanoplastics, which are less than 1,000 nanometers. Large pieces and microscopic pieces can both pose harm to people and animals in many different ways.
Plastic enters the ocean in many ways, but the majority enters through river outlets. 1,000 rivers are responsible for 80% of the plastic pollution entering our oceans. This pollution originates in many ways, including obvious sources like litter and discarded items, and less obvious ones like infiltration of fibers from washing machine wastewater.
With each wash, countless microfibers from synthetic textiles make their way from washing machines into rivers, lakes, and oceans. Once in the environment, the microfibers concentrate pervasive bacteria and pollutants. They are consumed by aquatic organisms, which can result in gastrointestinal infections and blockages, reproductive problems, and starvation.
The most apparent victim of this pollution is marine life.
Once plastics have entered the marine environment, they begin to make their way into living organisms. Marine animals and birds may mistake these large pieces of debris for food and will ingest them. Once in their systems, they cannot be digested and they'll remain there indefinitely. This causes internal harm, which leads the animals to believe they are not hungry, and for this reason, many starve to death. Micro and nanoplastics also make it unknowingly into their systems and build up in their bloodstream over time, which is known as bioaccumulation. Bloodstream plastic concentrations have been found in fish, krill, marine mammals, and even humans.
The infiltration of plastic into the ocean also impacts the economy, which is a far more complicated and inconspicuous issue.
Visual buildup of pollution brings down the visual appeal and recreational value of coastal areas, which in turn creates a loss of revenue in regions whose economies depend heavily on tourism. Shipping and fishing operations are also hindered by this problem because of increased downtime due to equipment entanglement with plastic debris.
There are efforts to address this problem, but due to its massive scale and complexity, efficient and effective environmental engineering efforts are necessary. Some promising current initiatives are on the rise, which are worth understanding and supporting.
The Ocean Cleanup is a nonprofit organization dedicated to developing technologies to tackle this problem. They have a variety of efforts in motion to remove plastic from oceans and rivers, which include several ships which utilize nets, conveyor belts, and more to mechanically remove plastics.
Outside of donating to and advocating for engineering efforts, smaller personal contributions are possible. These include attempting to lessen plastic consumption or even living a zero-waste lifestyle, as well as individual cleanup efforts by joining community cleanups or individually removing plastics from rivers and beaches. Apps such as CleanSwell can make this fun and track your progress with statistics. Improved recycling technologies are required to both solve and prevent further plastic accumulation. Chemical engineers from the American Chemical Society are developing waxworms whose stomachs contain bacteria capable of degrading polyurethane. This would allow for the plastic recycling back to organic materials through digestion, and could be a breakthrough in removing man-made plastics from circulation after use.
Accumulation of plastic pollution is a growing problem for wildlife and human environments alike. It is a hugely complicated problem which will require concentrated engineering efforts and a great deal of support to remediate and prevent in the future. But it is not impossible, and there are many technologies in development today which are promising and should be supported in every way possible.